Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, everyone. People who have joined in, sit back, relax, and let's start what we have. Beautiful weather outside. Hope you are having a fantastic weekend. Some plans for Saturday, Sunday, but let's jump straight into what we're gonna share with you. We're very excited to present it to you. I'm Vipin. I'm the investment strategist with High Income Property, and this is Palash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Palash. I'm the director and an investment strategist with High Income Property. We both have been doing this for more than 5 years now.
Yep.
And we are very, very excited to bring you some great options in Cornelia Estate in Warnervale. This is not something we have done a lot of before, where we have narrowed down an option where we think it fits for both owner-occupiers and for investors as well. So this is something really exciting for us. And we want to get into that with you. So how the format will run is we're going to go through the presentation. Should take us not more than half an hour. And then at the end of it, if you have any questions, please feel to ask. You're obviously, you can put in your questions right now as well, but we will come to it at the end of the presentation. So there is no breaks as such.
Great. So let's jump in. So live or invest in Central Coast. But before we do that, a disclaimer: this is an opinion and not an advice. This presentation is not advice. It is recommended that you make an investment decision until your individual needs have been assessed by a qualified professional. While we have taken every care in preparation of this presentation, we do not bear any responsibility for action taken by a person on the basis of this information. Please conduct your own research and confer with a qualified professional before making any decisions. So that's the big thing. Let's jump into what, where, why. Cornelia Estate. Palash, over to you.
So Cornelia Estate, it's one of the states in Warnervale. Some of you may or may not know about it. It's in Central Coast. One of the more popular areas around it is perhaps, Hamlin Terrace or Tugra and surrounding suburbs, which you may know more about. But we will go through those things in detail. Now, in Cornelia Estate or in Warnervale for that matter, we need to understand what are the main aspects, what are the reasons we're looking at investing or buying in there to live. And we're going to go through all of that. Now, we obviously have limited time, so there would be a few things which you might want to ask us. Like I said before, you can ask us questions later as well. But what we will do is, first of all, give you an idea of where this Warnervale is, if you don't know where Central Coast is for that matter, and then specifically where that state is, and then break it down further into the price points. Also give you an idea of what kind of rental deals and things like that. What are the pricing of these properties as well? And what do you expect in terms of returns as well? Right?
That's correct.
So hopefully it covers up everything you need for you to make a decision. Okay.
All right, let's jump in. So in the state of blues, we're talking of Central Coast. Central Coast is between Sydney and Newcastle, or you can say exactly in the middle of Melbourne to Brisbane. Now, Central Coast used to be a holiday destination as well as a preferred retirement option for over 50s, if not very far off what a decade ago. But the progress that Central Coast has done in last 10, 15 years has been phenomenal. For one, it's accessible. The highways goes right through it. I mean, Sydney trains run till Gosford, the electric line, the diesel line runs till Newcastle. The train service is fantastic. People travel all the time from Newcastle, from Wyong, from Woy Woy, from Gosford, all the way to Sydney for work. Now, why, again, coming back to, within the Central Coast, why Warnervale? Now, look at the location of Warnervale. It's just about 30 minutes from Gosford, 50 minutes from Hornsby, just over an hour above from Blacktown as well as Parramatta, about an hour 30 from Sydney CBD, close to lakes, amazing lifestyle, greenery to the best. And if at all anything that has taught us in last 2 years living with COVID, work from home in an affordable location and a growing location with a fantastic lifestyle, it can't get better than that.
Yeah.
So that's where we're talking about Warnervale, part of the Central Coast. The distances I've just mentioned it to you. Now let's look at what else we have in Warnervale. Now, Warnervale, the biggest thing in the Central Coast, development plans and the growth prospects, The biggest thing that is coming is Warnervale. It's got schools. So you got within 5-6 minutes, you got top-notch private as well as public schools, and the University of Newcastle, the Orimba campus, which has got a TAFE, has got a multi-community college plus a university campus.
It ticks all the education boxes.
It ticks all the education boxes. A fantastic lifestyle. Fantastic lifestyle. Again, Warnervale. Let's talk further on what we else have got in Warnervale. If we look at the amenities now, as I was saying earlier, within the Central Coast Development Plan, Warnervale Town Center development along with the railway station is $150-200 million of development done by Landcom. Massive. We have heard on Central Coast Airport as well, but it's a regional. We don't know what's going to happen with it, so don't put us to hold on it.
They haven't funded that so far, but
funded
there's plans for this as well. Yeah,
but you're looking at Warnervale Station. It's just in the middle of a 2 minutes walk from your Cornelia Estate. A business park, Warnervale Business Park, which is just 5 minutes drive. Now, on that, Woolworth have launched up an application to expand their regional distribution center to multi-times of what it is currently. The shopping village of Coles is great. Westfield Telegraph, one of the biggest in that area. Now, look at the hospitals. You got a fantastic public hospital of Wyong, which just went a major upgrade, and then the Togra Lake Private Hospital, and all of them within 10-15 minutes of drive, and not to mention the Gosford Hospital, which is just about half an hour away.
Yeah.
M1 freeway, it's about 12 minutes drive. So accessible, has got all the amenities, have got all the schools, big town center coming in. Not many people know, but Central Coast has also got hub for sanatorium as well as the Mars Food, which used to be Master Foods. They've got major manufacturing in that area.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So it supports a lot of jobs and infrastructure. Let's look at what else we have, in terms of lifestyle, recreation. So you've worked hard, your kids have gone to the school. Now you need to play, you need to recreate. Now it's just not about going to the pubs, but like every other Aussies, we would like to go to an oval, play something, go to a sporting complex, go to Budgeway Lake or a Dixie Beach, have a swim, come back to Wangara Sports Facility, all within an hour, and still home, head home for the evening with drinks on the lounge. So fantastic, your oval, your sports facility, your sporting complex, your both lakes and the Dixon Beach. It's just within 15 minutes drive of, within everything. Very, very conveniently located, very, very centrally located.
Yeah. In recreation, we could have put in one more thing. Hunter Valley is not far, about an hour's drive, and there's enough wine.
Yeah, and there was no point putting up swimming pools because you got, lakes and beaches close to you. So that's why you've got, your sporting complex.
Yeah. So I guess it covers off, location-wise, distance to city. I mean, Central Coast, it's its own ecosystem in any case, right? So it's not reliant on Sydney, Hornsby, or Blacktown, or anything like that. It works and manages its own ecosystem. There's enough employment there. I think you mentioned something about 100,000 people expected in the next few years.
Yeah, that's correct. Demographically, they're looking at, Warnervale has been earmarked as a planned town to help Central Coast absorb the growth of about 80,000 people, which is going to happen in next 10 years. Now, remember, currently also, especially on the rental and housing, there is a bit of stretch because majority of the people, they drive down to Mount Kurungai or Hornsby Industrial Area to work.
Okay.
And you have companies like Steggles Foods, Beadas,
yeah.
a lot of others, and they are within 50 to 60 minutes of drive. And all these people that drive on the highway, it's very, very convenient, yet affordable. I mean, look at it. If they wanted to live in Hornsby or this side of the world, it wasn't very convenient or affordable for them. So that's all about what we have in Warnervale.
That's good. So it, like I said, covers up location, education, medical, recreation, and
a very affordable lifestyle.
Yeah. One thing I should point out, this in terms of location, I should have. They've got this place called Vonnie's Cafe just next to the. Remember we went there? Yeah?
Oh yeah.
It's one of the oldest ones over there, and it is very, very famous for its shakes as well. So restaurant which is about 300 meters away from this Cornelia Estate as well. But let's carry on with the state itself. So this is the state plan as such. There are 6 stages to it. This lands are the land is gonna register in the first half of next year. We are expecting Q1. But as you can, anybody who's buying house and land, they would know there's always some sort of delay. So hopefully not beyond Q1, but let's say first half is definitely the case, as far as we have told, as far as we have been told. We've got the blue lots, the ones which are the best priced lots in our view, in stage 2, are the ones which we think are the best value for our clients as well. And those are the ones we have done some numbers and research comparing not only what is available within the state, but also comparing what is in the suburb with different providers already being in there. And then if you compare the suburb with the suburbs surrounding it as well.
Oh, so you mean comparing it with all the other or possible estates within the Warnervale?
That's right.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea is to get the best value out of it. Either you're an investor or you're an occupier, you want to get the best value in either which way, right?
Let's look at them. I'm keen to.
Yeah, so just to give you an idea, the Nico Road over here is basically just running parallel to the train line, and the train station is just around the corner over here, somewhere about, depending 300 to 500, between 300 to 500 meters, depending where you are in the state. And you've got a couple of roads which are going to be coming in and out of the state as well. The roads are nice and broad, so it's not one of those ones where you just park one car and it's all blocked. So it's a very well designed and planned state as such. You've got these green patches which are eventually going to come in as houses as well. On the other side of the Kanovna Road is already established housing, some brand new housing as well already, which is really, really good to see. And in Central Coast, generally, you'll see a lot of old houses and, something which hasn't gone through a lot of change. But in Warnervale itself, because it's a smaller suburb and there's already so many amenities available, people have gone and demolished new or old houses and made new houses. So there's sort of gentrification already happening over there, which is the really good part as far as I'm concerned for that suburb as well as the overall region. Yeah,
quite a hidden gem, eh?
Yeah, it definitely is. And I mean, 400 meters from the train station, and that's fantastic, right? Let's look at where in Warnervale is this particular state. So if you see that yellow star over here, that's where Cornelia State is. It runs parallel to the train line. The Warnervale station, like I said, is around 400 meters. So from this yellow to this train line, the train drop point, it's around 400 meters. There is one big state from A.V. Jennings, Rosella State, which is another 200 meters from Warnervale station. And behind that, further down, there is the Meadows at Warnervale as well, which is, I think, sold by Ray White or someone like that. And then you've got, if you come around from the other side of the station, so you come from this road, you cross over and you go around about, you got this railway road, which is sort of a smaller development as well. The reason we are giving it, not for I guess, for you to go and buy from there, but to tell you the comparison. I guess when we go through the presentation, you will know. And one of the main reasons showing you this is that everything in this slide is within a kilometer radius to each other.
Yep.
So all the amenities which are available in Warnervale or in this patch are available to every state, right? Now, if you were to fast forward 20 years, people will not remember Cornelia State. People will not remember A.V. Jennings or Rosella State or Meadows. All they will remember is Warnervale, and they'll remember the Warnervale station. So it's very important that we don't get caught up who the state is. Land is land. It does not matter if it is developed. It is not created. It's just developed by a developer, right? Now, had it been Cornelia State or a state, we can call any other name. If the pricing rise, that's the one we would have looked for, right?
That's correct.
So just remember, we are buying in a suburb. In 10, 15, 20 years, nobody's going to remember the name of the state. All they're going to remember is what they bought it at and what they've got in terms of growth, right?
That's correct.
So keeping that in mind, let's look at what are the median prices of Warnervale compared to the suburbs around Warnervale as well, right? Now, there are few things you got to keep in mind. Warnervale has not started a lot of development like Hamlin Terrace has. Hamlin Terrace has been going into development. Land has been selling, smaller pieces of land have been selling there from last 5 to 7 years already, right? Now, If you look at Warnervale, right now, the median price is $977,000 right now. The rental yield is around 3.2%. And the vacancy rate pretty much everywhere around there is fantastic, under 3%. In this case, it's about 1.8%, which is essentially telling you there's only 2 houses out of 100 which are available for rent. And also, there's a huge demand for rental in that area, which I guess is true for pretty much everywhere in Australia right now.
And if we see, 80, 90,000 people moving into that area, the whole Central Coast in the next 10 years, I mean, you're looking at anything around 30,000 homes. Where are those 30,000 homes coming from?
That's right.
That's not even the capacity. That's not even what all these estates going to offer.
That's true. Yeah. And I guess that's with those many people coming in, it's going to have direct pressure on the pricing as well as the rental yield as well, right? So people are getting in earlier, obviously, are the one who want to make much better results out of this, right? Now, Hamlin Terrace, 890,000 median pricing. Canville, which is closer to the lakes, sort of hasn't gone through a lot of change at all, sort of downgraded area as such. But the cheapest in that sort of zone is the 790,000. Then you got Terrigal, which is massive, 1.5 million, Mungara 960, and Voi Voi 1,025,000. Now you got to remember a few things. Terrigal, a smaller piece of land, will also get you around the 1.1 million pricing, which is pretty much the same as in the outskirts of Sydney.
Terrigal has got a lot of units as well.
It's got a lot of units, and that's probably explains the vacancy rate being slightly higher as well, right?
Because generally in the Central Coast, where I'm looking at it, majority of these suburbs have got 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, under 2% majority.
That's right. Now, Warnervale has this opportunity because it's a smaller suburb right now, and it's going through the development. Previously, all the houses sold. In fact, there was only 12 houses sold in Warnervale last year, right? And they were all big pieces of land with a small house on it, with the view, I guess, that somebody's going to break them down, subdivide and sell it, right? Now, the question always comes back, hey, what if there's a lot of development over there, right? The numbers which we've been spoke about, 30,000 people in the Central Coast area, there's not going to be enough houses or land available.
30,000 homes, about 70 to 80,000 people.
30,000 homes, 70 to 80,000 people. There is no way right now with what we have in terms of population, the skill level, and resources available, that Central Coast is going to be able to house that many people, which would definitely mean higher pricing and higher rent. Right. And if you look at that way, there's going to be plenty of people coming and living in these areas. Right. Now, similar thing has happened in Hamlin Terrace. It's had a lot of development, but guess what? The vacancy rate is still sitting at 3.8. And because it had availability and amenities, it's gone. Rental yield is one of the highest at 3.8. We expect very similar outcome for Warnervale. So just remember these two numbers: 977,500 for median price and 890,000 for Hamlin Terrace. Because I think that is probably the closest comparison we're going to have. Now let's look at the land, which is what we think is fantastic options or opportunity for people who are looking at it. I've just picked up 4 pieces of land to compare it with what is being selling for in Warnervale with the other providers, right? So we got Cornelia Estate, we got A.V. Jennings, and then we got the Meadows and a couple of other people who have been selling it. Now, obviously, not all land is similar sizes. So if Cornelia Estate, right now we are selling in Cornelia Estate land of 365 square, we are selling it for $456,000, right? A.V. Jennings is selling land of 375 square for 543,000.
So that's almost about 15% more for just about 10 square meters of more of land.
That's right. That's, and
90,000 almost.
That's a huge number. And yes, A.V. Jennings, they're offering, hey, I'm going to give you $5,000 or $10,000 rebate.
But that's only if you go with their builder, right? And then generally A.V. Jennings is quite I know they are good builders, but they're premium builders,
right? And we do a lot of business with them. So there is no doubt about their being very good, right? If you look at the land size of 331 square, the land price is 430,000, right? Similar, not the same, 300 square with A.V. Jennings is costing you $457,000.
Additional 5%, 7%.
Yeah, with 10% less land. A smaller piece of land, 258 square, 370,000 in Cornelia, And if AV Jennings, 300 square piece of land is 457,000. If you compare it to what's being selling in Meadows and a couple of other
But real
land,
estate has still got better pricing.
still better. And this 380 by far is, probably 10 grand lighter because we've taken an average because they give a range in real
Yep,
estate
for
and
sure.
stuff like that, right? And we're still 10 grand cheaper. Yeah. If you look at larger piece of land, let's say 450 square, the land price is 490,000. 450 square with AV Jennings is 576,000.
It's
Right?
almost 20%.
20% more.
86,000, yes.
Huge, right? And then you look at somewhere outside these two, look at Meadows and other people, look at 470 square is selling for 540,000 here.
Yeah, that's
right?
again under 50,000 more.
So I think it's very easy to say that the land pricing over here is fantastic. Now, what we have done is land pricing itself could be a lot of reasons for that, right? There could be different contours, there could be drop in the land and stuff. To make sure that we are actually placing ourselves in the very, very right spot, we've also got pricing with our builders as well. So a couple of builders, one with the
good.
investor set of builder, one is an owner-occupier set of
Good.
builder, right?
Mhm.
Now, what that would do is give us an actual number, how much it's going to cost in terms of the whole house and land package. Right?
And I think it will give, people an idea as well of, owner occupier versus investor, where do they stand? What works for them?
That's right. So let's look at what we have got in terms of an investor inclusion and owner occupier inclusion. I know you love this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I love the
comparisons.
investor inclusions always, because for me, it's always about, getting the best buck for your money. I mean, if you're spending $1 extra, what are we getting, in returns? Anyways, the investor inclusions, and these are generally your set standard, products from builder range, your ceiling heights of 2.44 meters, split air conditioning, with an AC in the drawing room and one in the master bedroom. Ceramic tiles in all the living areas and carpets to the bedrooms, 600 mil stainless steel kitchen appliances. All the builders in the standard range, until they tell you that they're going to upgrade it to a diamond premium, whatever, for 30-40 grand. But these are your set standard, what you generally find in every household.
Yeah. And that includes all your oven, includes your cooktop, it includes your little bit of exhaust, depending on which way you go to, all those things. Yeah.
Full landscaping. So you don't have to worry about, sharing the cost with your, neighbor on your fencing and whatever. Full driveway, roll-up blinds, barrier screen, automatic garage door. And the best part is a full turnkey fixed price. So you do not have to come back to the table again and again of what is this, what linings and this and that. It's a full turnkey. Now let's look at the owner-occupier inclusion. Of course, they are more towards a premium. They're more because they look majestic, show off, all these kind of things. Your style, they represent your style. Ceiling heights are 2,700 mil. Now with this massive thing, the best thing that this builder particularly does is got 2.4 meter wooden doors. Nobody else that I've seen does 2.4 meter wooden doors. So, the builders will give you a higher floor to ceiling height, but the doors are still your standard 1.8, 1.9. So it doesn't give you that big feeling. But when you have 2.4 meter wooden doors, the whole thing just looks massive. It looks big. It shows a lot of space. Ducted air conditioning, and they do a hybrid, beautiful flooring throughout the house.
Yeah.
When we went and looked, I was very impressed with the display home. Throughout the house, no carpets, 40 mil bench tops and glass splashbacks, something, people really wanted. Easy to clean, has got, especially if you're cooking a lot of food. One of the other things that I saw with this builder was the stylish zebra blinds. It's very rare that you see those premium blinds. Very cool, very cliche. Down lights throughout, marble light tiles up to the ceilings in your bathrooms. Gives a very, very good look. Double glazed window with soundproofing, barrier screens, automatic garage door, and full turnkey fixed price. And I suggest people come along, speak to us. We will take you for a tour of the display home. You will really be amazed by what the owner occupier inclusions are. Not that the investor inclusions are not great, but in terms of when you look at a style, it's a different world.
Yeah. So both of them, full turnkey, fixed price. If you want to live in it, you can go and live in it. If you want to go invest, somebody will come and take a rent. You don't have to do anything else, right? Obviously, when we're looking at further numbers, You can choose to have an owner-occupier inclusions as an investor, that's your choice, or you can have an investor inclusion as an owner-occupier, that's your choice as well, right? And there would be some flexibilities with certain things which we can look at, especially facades and stuff like that. And for the purposes of this presentation, we are only focusing on, why the area is good, what makes it so special, what are the inclusions, and what are the pricing. We're not going and showing you floor plans or the numbers of, this is the amount of rent and all that kind of stuff you'll get. But we are happy to talk through to you on an individual basis so that we can incorporate your finances and then give you a suggestion of what might be the best option for you.
That's correct. I mean, it has to work for you. It doesn't has to be either investor or owner occupier. It is what works for you.
That's right. So let's look at what are the available packages, right? So first, we have chosen 5 of the land sizes in here, and we have sort of given you the pricing for both investor and also for the owner occupier,
The
right?
inclusions, yeah.
The inclusions as well, right? So if you look at the investor, let's look at the first one, and we try to sort of cater to all size of lands. It's sort of fair comparison. So we look at a land size of 365 square. If we build a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom, and I had to check that it could be 2-bedroom, but I'll check that.
2 bathrooms.
117 square build size. With the rent you're getting, you would end up with a rental yield of 4.23%. Now in Sydney, you would be lucky if you get anything close to even 3%, right? Even Central Coast for that matter. And a package price of under $800,000 on a 365 square land. We were talking about Box Hill and everything before.
Yeah, I mean, a 365 land, even if you look at Box Hill, you're looking at about 900, 950. Even if you look at Schofield's $1 million, 365 land in Riverston, and even in the Grantham, you're looking at 650, 600, 650. That's what you're looking at.
And how long do you reckon it takes to drive from Box Hill to Sydney CBD?
Oh, 2 hours.
Oh, if you take freeway, probably 1.5, right?
Even if when you take a
lesser?
freeway and you have to pay all the tolls, it's one, it's 1.5 hours, and at least you're looking at three or 4 tolls possibly.
That's
Whereas
right.
you're coming from Central Coast, you're looking at both options, whether you can take the Pacific Motorway and you come through, Mount Kurungai stuff, without having to pay for the toll, depending on where you work. But even if you take, it's just 1 toll.
Yeah, and I think Penrith will still be further down. big difference.
Yeah,
Okay, let's keep on this. So we got land size 365. An investor who would put in, let's say, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1 garage in there at 117 square, looking at under 800,000 in a package price. If you were looking at the owner occupier inclusion, the pricing, we would have a slightly bigger house, fairly bigger house, 170 square, which would have a configuration of 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and 1 garage. And the package price is still 868,500. Now, if you remember, I did ask you to sort of memorize the 2 numbers. First was what was the median price of Warnervale. Do you remember? I've forgotten already.
Yeah, it was about 790.
977, 750.
Yeah, 970, sorry.
977, 750.
Yeah,
And a 4-bedroom house, I did it the other way. So we got a 4-bedroom house at 868, which is well within the median price. Now,
under the median price, almost
well,
100,000.
100,000 lesser, right? Now let's look at a larger piece of land. And some of you over here are from Sydney and surrounds, and we love larger pieces of land. If you look at a 450 square piece of land, and the build size being 127, configuration again, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1 garage, looking at a 4.21% rental yield, and the package price still well under 850,000 of 846. On the same piece of land, if you build a bigger house of 196 with all the bells and whistles of owner occupier inclusions, you're still looking at 961,000. Now that is the most expensive one which we have, but we are still able to get it well within the median price of Hamlin Terrace, right? If we look at sort of average, not so big, not so small land of 396 square, we're looking at a build size of 166, which will give you a 4-bedroom option, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and 2 garage, and the rental yield at 4.1, overall price still under 920,000. And on the same piece of land, if we build a 189 square house, we'll get a 4-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house again but it'll still be 955,000. So depending on what you like, you can cater to, if you're, depending on your finances, if you think your budget should be lower, and if it is lower, let's say I don't want to spend more than 770, 780, then you should consider the last two, which is the land size 324 and 325, build size 118, again, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, great rental yield, 4.2, 4.57, which is fantastic, both well under 780. And if you were to use those pieces of land to build a house for yourself, and you get a build size of around 172, which is a very good size, you still get a 3-bedroom option, well under 840,000.
And
So-
just on that, just for everybody's, understanding, 324, 325 square meters of land, that's more than 75% of the new land that is being developed or released in the Western Sydney.
Yeah.
Majority of the lot that we are seeing in the Western Sydney is about 260, 270, 280 square meters. Majority of them.
Yeah.
So 324, 325, when you have a good 170 house, you still got the similar size available as a free space for you, for your backyard and everything.
That's right. See, the key is, and I think I put some videos before, and I think you mentioned it in your videos, or sorry, in your comments as well, Vipin, before, is what land size is important, but only important if you can hold on to that land for a fairly long time.
Yeah.
The rent which you get, or the rental yield you get, is based on the size of the house, not on the size of the land. Yeah. Now, if you want to hold a property for longer, you want to make sure that you get enough returns to be able to pay for the loan you're taking.
That's correct.
That you can do by having a good size of land with a good size of build, get enough rentals from it, and keep that property for a longer period of time. And if you're able to keep it for a longer period of time, then you'll obviously get a growth as well. Just because you buy a smaller piece of land, you will not get lower growth. You will get the proportionate or the same percentage growth, most likely, as you would get for a larger piece of land, right? So it's important to understand this, because sometimes people get concerned that, oh, I don't want a small piece of land or a big piece of land. This is the new reality anyway, guys.
And as we always say, if you can, you must. I mean, property as an asset class, residential real estate, remains a very viable option. It is unless you're an inventor, explorer, licensed to music, do magical things. For ordinary folks, property still remains the most viable method to create wealth.
Yeah. So now we got these great packages in this great area, Vipin, and I know we've done this once before as well. So there are some people who are very keen, and I can see some questions coming through.
Oh, lovely.
But can we just see what else can we offer to our clients?
Oh, definitely. Yes, I think it's important to, here we go. You haven't even let me finish. So it's a great offer that we are offering from high income property. We generally don't do this. We have done it for, one of the very few times. We believe in the product. We believe what value we bring to the table. But however, with the rising cost of everything, we thought, all right, let's do it, and this is coming from Palash, not from me, but I support it wholeheartedly. So first 3 buyers till 15th of March, 2023, which is
15th of May. Yeah.
15th of May, sorry, next 1 week, or slightly over a week.
Yeah.
Solicitor fees for 1,500, your conveyancer fee for 1,500, your handover inspection cost for 800, and your DAPS kit for 750, we will cover it up. That's close to about $3,000 that we are happy to help the people who want to, put up, and, it's limited to only 3 buyers. So guys, I would suggest, pick up your phones, speak to us, talk to us, whether it's the right option for you. That's important. Is it right for you? Can you do this? If you can, then we'll help you do it. Again, thank you from me and Palash for attending. If you got any questions, the forum is open.
We've got one question.
The forum is option.
Oh, that's a straight up.
Wow.
How do we know the builders are not going to go broke? There we go, straight up.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, it's a very, very interesting question. How do we know the builders are not going to go broke? Is the land acquisition going to happen on time? Well, of course, Palash, I think you'll answer.
I'll answer the first one. So how do we know the builders are not going to broke? To be very honest, nobody knows. We don't know, right? But what we do know is the builders we are working with, they've got a good track record. They are not priced cheap. I've seen a few times when we have seen some deals where the builders have
Underquoted.
underquoted, and we know that's seems like, too good to be true. And if it is that, then you probably know that is too good to be true. And that's why we've seen the builders go under. The main part here is that we are taking care of all the payments, as all the insurances and things are on track. The builders we have working with, they are wholesale builders. They are builders who have been doing this for a while. They've got insurance in places, and they have, at the time when things have been very, very scary in the building industry, they've been able to, I guess, communicate with the people who are building the house, that their clients, and come to a conclusion that, hey, maybe we do need to increase the price so that we don't go under and still get a product. So luckily, the builders we are talking about are not in this situation right now, but I do feel that the builders we are working for, they've got a good name, they're good family-run businesses, not too big and they're not too small. And I think I will feel very comfortable recommending them or building myself with them.
Yeah, that's correct. And we do the due diligence, with their insurances, make sure that everything is spot on, especially with their insurances. We make sure, that our customer relationship team is on top of, with all the processes that go through, during the build.
Yeah, that's right.
So if there are any red flags that we sense, then there is a due diligence process for it.
Yeah.
Very upfront.
Yeah. So I think the next question is about
land. How do we know whether land will be
land is going to register happen on time or not? So with land, I think there's a few things which the developers have to do correctly and on time, which is important, which I believe these developers are doing already. And the time frames they have given us is actually February of next year, right? We are only saying at this point of time, we think it's going to be the first half. So I would think March, April. There's a few things which is under their control, few things which are not under their control. The councils, they can't control, the weather they can't control, but we take into consideration a couple of months. And I would think that would allow them, if they're saying February and worst come to March, April, even May for that matter, I would be fairly comfortable saying that's good enough. That's good enough. Yeah. And in terms of when can I have a look in the area and build? You can
anytime. Get in touch with us. Let's start talking. We will definitely arrange a trip for you. I'll take you across, have a visit to their display home.
Yeah.
And the area. It's not very far off. You're looking at at best about 5 hour of a return trip.
Yeah. Well presented, Palash and Vipin. Thanks for you. This is Das. I know Das. How are you, Das? Hope you're well. Who are the builders? So there's a couple of builders, Das. I'm happy to sort of share information with you offline if you want. One of the builders is based in Sydney, Central Coast itself.
Yeah.
They are Lanard builders, and we are working with them exclusively for the with the owner-occupier inclusions list. And in terms of the investor one, there's a few of them which we have sort of mixed together. So I can talk to you with that as well. So, but good to hear from you. It's been a while. I think there might be some more. We have answered live and done. Oh, how long will it take to build the property? So normally after the registration of the land and the land settling under your name, it would take, we used to be comfortable saying, 6 to 9 months, but now we say within a year is the time frame. I think that's very realistic in terms of how long it will take. Saying that in the contracts with the builders we're dealing with, the time frame is much lesser, and we do put a penalty clause that if they're not able to finish in that period of time, they give you some money to compensate for the cost you're incurring without handing the property over to you.
Yeah. And we're seeing in that area, especially in the Central Coast, when we went and have a look and did a full recce of all generally in Central Coast, if not for bad weathers, the people, the builders knock the builds pretty quick, and I know for sure, the people who are doing the home owner occupiers, he's known to do it pretty fast. But again, we would not commit for less than 12 months.
Sure. Now, this must be, I think we touched on this, but maybe you want to
there are enough people to rent in that area. I mean, when you're looking at, as I said earlier, Central Coast is looking at an influx of 80, 90,000 people over the next 10 years. And that is considering the current growth within the country and the migration levels we are looking at. There would be enough people because you need about 30,000 homes, and the way they are going it, there is a major demand and supply issue countrywide, and Central Coast is not different to it. As I said a decade ago, it used to be the holidaying point. It's a vacation point. It's a recreation, the beaches and the lakes and over 55 retirees. But now it is the major living hub. What kind of people are living there? I mean, Central
That's
Coast
the other
is,
question. Sorry.
yeah, Central Coast is known to have elderly people, because generally when you have younger people, they will come to city and CBDs and stuff for their units, and that's where you're now having the big plans from the Central Coast Council, from the feds and the states, to have the universities, the TAFE, the community college, Woolworth Distribution Center. Hopefully, if it comes through, a lot of these, so that the younger population, where we are seeing a shift. We said 80% of people are owner occupiers. We're seeing that shift, that it's just not the elderly demographics, but it's the families. And the numbers have not come for last 2 years, but the number of young families that have moved into these areas are fantastic. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah. I guess I'm just short of time now. It's about 2:45, so we might have to wrap it up here. There's one more questions, Vipin, if you might want to take this. What sort of development is going on in that area?
So Warnervale Town
touched on it, but I guess
touched on that. But Warnervale Town Center by Landcom, $150 million. That's massive. Central Coast Airport don't hold us accountable, but there are towns about it. You're looking at private hospital as well as the Vyang Hospital. That's massive. Schools coming up. A master plan, Warnervale. I mean, if you look at the major hotspotting reports or other reports coming from very credible sources in this country, and when you look at the Central Coast growth or infrastructure, the first couple of sentences about Warnervale, the new town center, and it is destined to become a master plan town center, because Warnervale is one of the earmarked spots within the Central Coast to accommodate and help absorb this influx of population. As I said earlier, Woolworths is looking at their, expensing their regional distribution center.
That would be huge. Distribution centers,
massive. Yeah. I mean, the fast train line, has been on New South Wales radar for, sometimes between Sydney and Newcastle. The whole area is gonna, as much as that is grown, I think it has got very strong legs to continue to run into the future with the infrastructure we see. Hope that answers.
Cool. Well, that's good. Thanks for covering that off, Vipin. And I'm just conscious of time because we did come into 2:45. So I'm gonna wrap it up over here. I know some of you might have some more questions. Please feel free to connect with us. We've got your details. We will be coming back to you. And if you are keen, and I think somebody has already shown interest on one of the options, but which is great. If you have any interest, please let us know and we will come back to you. Okay. On that note, we'll wrap it up over here. Have a fantastic Saturday and rest of the weekend, and lovely speaking to you guys.
Enjoy your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.